Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Aviation Show. I think I blew a few people's eardrums out then. Sorry. I came in a little bit too hot, didn't I? I'll just modulate that audio down a little bit. I hope you're all doing well and looking after yourselves. What an amazing day it's been for most of us in the UK here. The weather has been absolutely epic for a change. It's just what we needed, I think, given that it's been pretty poor where we've been, in particular anywhere in the Midlands, since lockdown finished, and we've all been able to get out again. But yeah, I hope, like I say, you're all staying happy, healthy, looking after yourselves, making the most of hopefully now being able to get out and about. I think that applies to most people. If that isn't you, then let us know in the chat. But yeah, if you can all hear me and everything's working nicely, just let me know. As always, let me know where you're from, who you are, what you're up to. A few shout outs first of all to people in the chat. We've got Phil Besant, hi. GEEKSVANA, looking cool. We'll speak to Sean very shortly. Jonathan Andrews, hello. Stephen Briggs, hi. Are you over in Lincolnshire, is it, Stephen Briggs? Well, I bet it's hot over there. Steve Fuller, hello. In Belper, Derbyshire, is that? Belper and Derby. Simon Goodludgate, hello. Big G, George Wrigley, Big G RC and video. Hey guys, beautiful day here in West Horton. We're even out to fly the drones and the disco. Nice weather for a bit of fixed wing flying. Lovely. Pesky Seagull, Chris from Pesky Seagull down in Birmingham. Hey Matt. Hey all. James Hanson, a name I've not seen on the live stream before, so welcome James. Blue skies indeed. Jonathan Andrews, hello. Great evening. Been out with my young son with a Mavic Mini, and he's a natural. I think that's a drone lost. Yeah, it's one of those things, right? As dads, we're going to have to sacrifice them at some point. Mike Freeman, hello Mike, welcome to the channel. Peter Campbell, good to see you sir. iDrone Images. AirTech Images, hello. Martin Duke, all the hands, hello. Yep, Sonny Lincoln, good. CGK Drones, hello. Virtual 360 guys, hi. Martin Duke, Burton upon Trent saying hello. Oh, lovely Burton on Trent. I might be over there soon, actually doing some flying, more on that shortly. I say proper flying, I shouldn't say proper flying. Manned aviation, not unmanned aviation. Got to get that into my own head. We're in a new world. Matt. Take flight, Matt. Clive in Derby. Hi Clive. Mark Baravelli. Lovely day for flying North Wales. Oh man, I tell you what, I'd be giving anything to be going flying in North Wales at low level on a day like today. They were the best days in the world, apart from really cold days when there was kind of snow and it was icy, because the air's really calm and flat. They were my probably favourite days to go flying manned at low level. By the way, did anyone see the Chinook that had a wire strike yesterday, a couple of days ago? I'll try and get a picture of it actually. I hadn't thought about it until now, so I'll try and get a picture of that. Low flying in South Wales. Everybody, by the sounds of it, walked away, which is great. A few people lost power, which is a shame. And as always, we had all of the armchair, low-level helicopter experts that, gave their 10 cents worth as to what happened. But let's wait until the board have done their investigation. But the most important thing, everybody is safe, which is good. Just while we are on that, here we go. Here she is. I've been quiet on the channel over the last couple of weeks. A number of reasons behind that. Most of you in here probably know why in general, which is just taking a step back from the whole YouTube thing. We've got quite a lot going on at home, kids on summer holidays, and I've not really given them their time and attention that they deserve over the last few years, if I'm honest. So spending a bit of time with them before they head back to school in September, getting a few bits from my life sorted, and one of those things for me was getting flying again. So very lucky to have this photograph, which is of me landing in Mike Sierra a couple of days ago now. I managed to go and revalidate my private pilot's license, which is, again, for those of you who haven't seen, I had a flying accident about 5 years ago in the military, which is why I stopped flying military helicopters and instructing on those, moved into the drone world, and I thought I'd never fly again. And, fortunately, I managed to get a medical a few months ago, and this is me on the final landing of my skills test with the CAA. So, yeah, it it was really cool and amazing to get back in the air. Like I say, never thought I'd do it. Massive shout out to the ladies and gents over at Shropshire Aero Club at Slape, just outside Wem in Shropshire. An incredible place, and they've not sponsored this or anything. I've paid for myself to go through it, but yeah, incredible place. Great for anyone who's kind of in that area. You know, when they are open properly again, I fully encourage you to go down and support them and go and say hello. Sit in the cafe when it's open again. Come sit outside, and if any of you, you know, bump into me when I'm down there, because I'm probably going to be spending a lot of time down there over the next year or so, potentially looking at doing my instructor's courses so that I can teach civilian flying again, or teach civilian flying rather than military flying I used to teach. And we'll be, yeah, be great to see some of you and potentially take some of you flying, hey, Sean from GEEKSVANA, but we'll talk to him about that in a bit. I know I'm very unlikely to get him in one of those, but yeah, it was very, very cool. So good to be back in the air. Just running through then, who else have we got in? Nigel Pugh, looking forward to seeing them, big man. Mr. Mark Boyt, yeah, we got Sean from GEEKSVANA coming on in a moment. We'll have a chat with him on all things aviation and in the drone world, what he's seen that's going on. Then we've got Mark Boyt, the CEO of Drone Safe Register, queued up to come on afterwards. So if you have questions for Mark or anything you want me to pitch to Sean, please drop those into the chat for me. Again, the chat does tend to flow quite quickly. If you want me to spot your question, and if you want to support the channel and support the show, then please consider dropping a super chat in there. That's down at the bottom of the live chat. Drop a couple of quid in there. It's all much appreciated. It helps us to make the content that we make for you all, and it's more likely that I'll be able to see your question and get that over to Sean or Mark. There we go. Right. But a helicopter similar to what you flew over me today. Good job, I was on the ground, but it was awesome to see. Yep, the Puma. And this is one of the things, all right, with the Puma in particular. She, the reason we used to do what we did with her at low level was because you can't hear the Puma coming when we fly at 50 feet until the aircraft's on top of you / gone over you. So, yeah, definitely to keep an eye out for that. I've just seen... Mick Curran, hello. Cam Wings, hi James. Once your question answered, yeah, that was me. I put that in there. Don't forget, every donation is closer to getting GEEKSVANA in the air. That is very, very true. £153 an hour it is to go flying, so the more torture you want to bring upon Sean Hickey, then yeah, drop it in. James Camwings, thank you very much. Don't worry, mate. I hope you're doing well. Right, so without further ado, speaking of the man himself, the man, the myth, the legend, let's give Sean a call. I didn't even get a chance to do the Skype dance this time. How you doing, mate? You okay? Good, yeah, not too bad, thank you. And to full screen. That's it. Big G, thank you for your super sticker. You total hero. That's very much appreciated, thank you. That's that's about 4 minutes of flying for you there, mate. That'll pay for the taxi out anyway so far, so love it. Mate, how are you? It's been a while.
I think we all are, and as you're saying, the wonderful weather we've been experiencing has been a really nice break. Whatever you're doing, even if it's chores or anything else, is so much nicer when you've got some proper sunshine beating down on you. It's superb, and obviously anything to do with our hobbies is always better in the sunshine. So it's yeah, I'm good. Thank you very much.
Good.
Congratulations, by the way. Sorry to talk over you. Congratulations on the on the flight check pass, etc. Absolutely amazing. It's great. It was great to see in the little photograph there in the air.
That's it.
Superb.
Hanging on for grim death.
Yeah. It doesn't look like you should be able to fit 2 people in that size airplane, but hey, you know.
I fully concur.
I'm not the expert. So.
That's it, yeah. What do we know? No, it works. It does the job, and you know, it was a relatively cost-effective way of me getting flying again. Yeah, it was, yeah, it was interesting actually, because I mean, it's been 17 years since I've flown a fixed-wing aeroplane.
Wow.
Which is insane, right? So, and I did about an hour and a half with an instructor, and he was ready. You know, he just said you can go and do some solo if you want, and then be ready for your test. But
the audience is saying that they have no sound on me.
I have sorted it.
Okay,
it was when you first came on, so hopefully that's all sorted now.
Well,
People can let us know.
That actually is, it's to check if I'm drunk or not. Basically.
Yeah.
When we did a tech check, yeah, I'm not drunk.
Easy for you to say.
Exactly. There was rumours that I might start drinking soon, so perhaps he was just checking. Is he half naked?
Has he actually gone for it?
No, he's got a t-shirt on. We're safe.
That's it. Yeah. Sorry, I kind of chopped you the start off, but yeah, everyone's saying it's working out, which is good. So yeah, it was. Yeah, a couple of hours. Went and did some solo, an hour solo to go and practice all the manoeuvres. Went and did a pre-ride with the examiner, well, the instructor, and then the examiner jumped in and flew. And yeah, it was very good. I enjoyed it a lot.
Congratulations. Well,
nice to be back.
Certainly hard earned to get back up there. So
that's it. So so now we've got to work out the logistics of getting you up. But there we go. Getting down to you and taking you flying.
Hello.
Yep. It's all good.
Hello.
Need to unmute your microphone.
Can't hear you.
That's it.
I refuse to hear you.
That's it. Well, we have had, and this is one of the cool things, right? Like, I know when we're doing this every week, we actually found that it was meaning that we were running out of stuff to talk about. Almost, like there wasn't a huge amount.
Never, but yes.
Never. Well, yeah, never stuff to talk about, but that's it. Stuff that these guys would be interested in.
Yeah, indeed.
But yeah, I think this format seems to be working nicely now, and there's been some cool stuff that's happened over the last kind of couple of weeks, and some interesting bits. So what have you pulled out?
Well, there was one which seemed to be a real shot across the bows of the FPV hobby, where the FCC have fined Hobby King $2.8 million, basically for 42 of their devices, which were either already or were able to be set to transmit on bands well outside of the amateur range and strength.
Okay.
And that Hobby King obviously aren't exactly the biggest name anymore in the FPV market, so a lot of people in the industry are seeing it as a shot across the bows of the industry in general.
Yeah.
To say, look, we are coming for you. And to be fair, most other vendors have actually removed anything remotely similar from their lists.
Okay.
So yeah, it was an interesting one for the hobby, because obviously it's, especially with all of the look to move over onto the digital side of things.
Yes.
You have to wonder if it's another nail in the coffin of analog. But we'll have to wait and see if it comes to fruition or not.
Yeah, that's it. It's crazy numbers, isn't it, when you start knocking around in that kind of thing. Although, I mean, I suppose $2.8 million dollars isn't perhaps that much to a company like Hobby King, but then it's still got to hurt, right?
Well, they have said they actually can't afford to pay it, because obviously they're literally, if you look at their sales charts, have been going like that now for about 10 years.
Right.
And their percentage share of the American market is tiny now, whereas people would wait for shipping from Hong Kong and having to ship it in 3 parts and all this sort of issues that you can have. These days, you can go onto Amazon, you can order these things, and or eBay, and they'll be there the next day or 2 days later, and often cheaper now.
Yeah.
So yes, it's clipped their wings.
Nice, nicely done, sir.
You'll probably find that the fine will go down by the time they actually get anywhere close to paying it. But again, being a Hong Kong company, they could just decide not to sell in America anymore, especially if they've got such a small market there now. So
yeah, that's it. And again, perhaps this is one of those things whereby the DJI stranglehold is potentially crossing over into that market as well, right?
Yes, and interestingly, there's always 1,000 rumors of the next DJI product. There's apparently a DJI version of the Cessna 172 if you listen to half the rumors coming next year. But one of the rumors is an actual FPV, rather than just the bits they've already released, but an actual FPV Bumblebee type FPV drone. And the response from the FPV audience has been less than appreciative of them coming into that marketplace, because obviously they do see them as the dark overlords that have taken over the drone market. So, which I can understand. I can understand for the build people that it isn't necessarily something you want to see come into your marketplace. But I think we're going to need to see some other big brands in the FPV marketplace go full digital and make a success of it. And then I think it could go from strength to strength.
And that would be an interesting move actually from DJI, because it would be very much in line with their what seems to be their current product evolution, right? Like we saw it with, when you look back to their very beginnings, where it was like, right, we're going to design a flight controller, then actually, hang on a minute, let's make an aircraft that the flight controller can go on, and then one that it's built into, and then you can't buy the flight controller anymore. And I think I'd be very surprised if they didn't go the same way with FPV. And people, like you say, the traditional community and fraternity will push back against it, as we did when DJI came along. And actually, when they bought out the Ace 1, I think it was called.
That's right.
And I was like, well, I can fly my helicopter quite nicely, thank you, with no stabilisation.
Don't need any of it,
That's it. And then we tried it, and it was like, oh, this is different. And it was only ATI it gave us, really, because I couldn't afford the GPS module for it. And then and so it's gone on, right? And eventually you're like, I can't move out.
And of course, there's been a lot of people that have gone from camera drone to FPV to escape the dominance of DJI, and to escape all of the automation side of things as well. So you can understand why they'd be hesitant. And I mean, change in anything is big. If we suddenly had Sony decide they're going to release a new camera drone, we'd be excited, but we'd also be quite, hesitant to accept it straight away. After the GoPro Karma was so successful breaking into the marketplace.
Incredible. That's it. Incredible. Here's the thing, though. This is what DJI would do, and I'll take a percentage on this from DJI when they finally release it. In fact, I need to go away and patent this quick. Right? But this is what they need to do. They need to set up a DJI FPV digital racing league, and then they're in, right? You can only use their equipment, blah, blah, blah. Absolutely. Massive prizes. And that then is like, that's your marketing
I think that's the way they would go, because do you remember the RoboMaster little truck that they released? That's obviously a huge marketplace for them in Asia, where there is, of course, the RoboMaster League, isn't there? So, which is a league exclusively for the more modular version of that. That would make complete sense, and you would perhaps then see DRL sort of suddenly go down a little bit in comparison to the DJI one. So I think we did have another form of racing before F1, didn't we? There was something that was competing with it for about a week. I seem to remember that was backed by Dubai or something, and it literally lasted about a week. I think that would be DRL against DJI's money, personally.
Yes. But, it was the Joan Champions League or something, wasn't it?
That's it. Yeah, it was very strange.
Yeah. But there we go, mate. Away from drones a little bit, if we may. You and I have geeked out on the space stuff before in the past, but there's some cool stuff going on in the space world at the moment. We have Perseverance today. Yeah. We had the launch of Perseverance from the clever boffins over at the NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory, where we're running this particular launch, which is exciting. With a crossover to the drone side of things, because of course with Perseverance on the same rocket is the first drone, which is only a single shafted helicopter style drone, and it's not going to do much apart from take off and take photos, to basically as a proof of concept that drones can work full stop on Mars, which they're pretty confident they will, especially in the lower atmospheres. But yes, it's very exciting. It was also quite cool to hear that the first mission for the rover and the drone when they deploy is to actually take a photograph of each other, so sort of Mars selfies, and send those back to NASA, which I'm looking forward to seeing those. Yeah, that's going to be very cool, isn't it? And of course, on the Mars side of things, you over on your channel have interviewed Dr. Pascal Lee.
Yes, that's right. Yes, Pascal. Yeah, he's absolutely fascinating guy. He's the co-founder of the Mars Institute, director of the Ames NASA project, and a senior planetary scientist at SETI. Which you get halfway through that list and you think, okay, you can stop now.
Yeah.
Pascal, you've done enough.
That's enough, mate.
It carries on.
Yeah.
And actually, also, he's a very good artist as well. Actually, he did win an award very recently for one of his, which was a painting of basically a spacecraft looking down on Mars pre-landing. That did actually win an award, which was. Mind-blowing, but absolutely incredible that he's so multi-talented. And yes, he's basically developing Oh, I think we
Sorry,
lost
I think I
Skype
brought
there.
you back. I think I brought you back. Are you
Come
back?
on back.
Hello. You should be there.
Right, I'm going to take my shirt off
Oh,
now.
they are. They are.
Going into after stream mode. Oh no! Right, we're back.
Steady. Sorry, it was me trying on the fly to get some photographs for people, but
very cool.
it turns out it freezes the screen, so I won't do that again.
Okay.
Sorry, everybody.
Well, now we know.
Yeah, that's it.
Or we now know a great way to get rid of Sean really quickly. Oh, technical problems. We'll see Sean next time.
See ya.
Bye.
That's it.
But yes, he's basically working up in the high Arctic on Devon Island, which is described as Mars on Earth, basically, because it's the closest we've got to the Moon and Mars down here, as far as the actual, obviously, the landscape is concerned. And they're developing spacesuits and the program for the first manned missions going to Mars. And of course, those manned missions to Mars will be backed up by drones. There's a couple of fascinating interviews on GEEKSVANA where he talks about the work that they're doing, including the first spacesuit glove specifically designed to control a drone, which he actually likens to using the Force, because you literally move your hand up and it will come closer, and move it down, it moves away, and each finger triggers a different sensor and that type of thing. It's absolutely fascinating work.
It's very cool, isn't it? I think so go over, and I've just dropped a link into the channel.
Thank you.
If you go and check out Sean's channel, and if you're able to after, mate, if you want to drop a couple of links in for people to go see that stuff, because it's absolutely fascinating. I'd be interested to know, I know it wasn't Pascal that necessarily did this project.
Yes, this was the jet's propulsion.
This was JPL, wasn't it?
That's right, yeah.
But I'd be interested to hear the thinking behind single rotor versus quad or hex or
proof
octa.
Of concept, basically. So they just want something there that has fewer points of braking. That all they want to do is prove that if we spin a rotor at X thousand RPM, the box will take off. And that's it. Once it's done that, it has literally paid for itself.
Job done.
And then they have that data. If it ends up doing a bit more, taking some photographs, obviously some cool photos of the rover driving through Mars, etc., then fantastic. But it really is literally a proof of concept drone. And those that want to take a look, if you go to the JPL YouTube channel, they've actually got a development program on there showing the videos of them testing it in a net, all the way through to getting it hovering in their workspace over there. It's a fascinating development process, just to get it, because it's something like spinning it 3 or 4 times the speed of a normal drone rotor engine,
right,
just to get this one thing off the ground. It's a fascinating watch.
It's very interesting, isn't it? Like I say that, yeah, and it's going to take, what did we work out earlier on? Almost 6 months to get there.
Yes, February 6th, mid-February. I think it's February 16th, something like that. We will be live streaming the landing party. So yes, that'll be interesting.
Nice. Yeah, that's going to be very cool, mate. I like it.
I hope it's on time. Otherwise, my live stream will be late.
That's it. So go and queue up for Sean's live stream right
That's
now.
right. Book your seats either a day or 3 days after. If you could all keep that week clear, the entire week clear, from about 12 noon to 10 p.m. British summer time, I'd be really appreciative.
That's it.
It's not too much to ask.
Get it done. It's funny, I've got people saying, what about the 400-foot rule?
Yeah. VLOS. Yeah.
VLOS. Yeah. It's
it is
no messing on Mars, guys. No messing. That's where you need to go if you want to escape the claws of the CAA.
Exactly.
Head over to Mars and you're golden.
Yeah. Although interestingly, the drone tests on Devon Island up in the high Arctic, they do actually have to get Transport Canada's permission to make those flights and pass all the relevant exams, etc., to fly drones in Canada, because it's technically their airspace. But they've been extremely helpful to them, because we are literally talking about there's a rude way of saying it, but the back end of nowhere. Yes. So there isn't too much air traffic around.
Yeah, probably fairly safe in the high Arctic, high Canadian Arctic. To be fair, actually, I've always found Transport Canada very, very accommodating and helpful.
I always hear really good things, actually. Any project, and hence you've got more delivery drone and medical drone type projects being launched and tested in Canada than anywhere else at the moment. Because, as you say, they're open to looking at things and giving reasonable permissions, which I've got a lot of hope for the UK CAA post Brexit. I think we might be heading in, certainly. Okay, hobbyists will just have to take a back seat for a moment, but certainly innovation-wise, I've got a lot of strong hopes, high hopes for actually the direction we seem to be going in for that type of thing.
Yeah, I think they're getting there. They're starting to realise that we're going to be left behind. But for if you are watching from the CAA, we are being left behind. We're going to be left behind, and you are going to suffer for it, because when the industry falls flat, if that's what happens, when people stop innovating, when you stop us being able to innovate, and this is the same in the GA world at the moment. Like, I want to be able to fly an experimental aeroplane, right? And by that, I don't mean something mental, like crazy experiment. I mean, I would do that, right? Yeah, that's it. Like, I would do that. But I just want to fly a home-built aeroplane with glass cockpit avionics in it that I can fly in the cloud. And
which is basically what you've built in your studio, isn't it? Essentially,
pretty much. That's where we're sat right now. Yeah, that's it. I just need to put this in something with wings.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of in the house. That's it. Great stuff. And then, of course, we've got the return, fingers crossed, of Crew Dragon.
Yes. In
2 days' time.
Yes, very exciting, isn't it? It's
3 days' time.
It's so great to have so much space stuff to talk about again. And it's all really positive. It's not just, oh, we're testing this, we're testing that, or it's, Starlink, which is all very exciting. But to actually have, and again, the Perseverance is leading to manned missions to Mars as well. So we are talking about manned missions in space a lot at the moment. That's so exciting, and it would be great to see them come back down. So yeah, I mean, big shout out to Elon and all of his hard work in the background there as well, where the innovation has come through.
That's it. You see, innovation. This is what it's all about, right? Yep. And sometimes it just takes a person to push those. Well, in fact, not sometimes it takes a person. It takes a person to push the boundaries, to push those regulations, to push the key decision makers and stakeholders and say, hang on a minute. This is, pardon my French, everybody, and if you've got children listening, I'm going to swear. This is bullshit. Yeah, there you go, thanks. This is bullshit. This is how we need to be doing it in the future, because we've got to be doing it better.
Yeah, exactly.
And, again, it's a mantle that I did try and take up in the UK in the drone world, but we didn't have enough... not enough people got on board with the movement, unfortunately, and then everyone bitched at me afterwards because I was trying to represent it.
Because whenever we had the consultations and things like that, you think of there's X thousands PfCOs registered in the country, and then about 3 of them put their points forward for the commissions, and it's very strange. There's a lot of talk, a lot of passion about it, but when it comes to it, not a lot of people do stand up to actually be taken seriously, and I think that is a shame.
That's it. But one of the things that I am determined to do is to, now I'm back in the GA world, and we've got a bit of a voice now as a community between us, I am going to start pushing people's buttons very hard. And it's funny because I've just seen who was it? I think it's Steve Fuller in the chat that was like, oh no, the CAA have got to have you coming at them from both sides. And do you know what? Yes, they are.
Yes. When we talk about the CAA, you are the CAA.
I am from the CAA. That's right, Mr. CAA.
You have to remember. The comments of some of your videos say you are the CAA, so I must now agree with that and be fully compliant. I'm sorry.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. It's just a game I play to make some people think I'm not. There we go. Ace, well, mate, thank you very much. It's been great to see you and catch up.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to your guest tonight. I think the Drone Safe Register is a great, if you call it system or mechanism or body, everything, all the different things that it does, and it's really pushing itself in the right direction, sometimes uphill, but I'm really excited about how that's going. So I'll be listening avidly to that particular interview. Good luck with it.
Great stuff. Yeah, perfect. Thank you, mate. And where can people catch you next?
The local pub.
The local pub,
Yes.
nice.
But, no, we have some more videos coming out next week, including one. I'm currently filming a drone regulations video with an actor friend of mine, who's very kindly turning up in full police officer uniform, authentic police officer uniform. So we're going to be talking about how to deal with the police when you're out droning. But I'll actually have a police officer there to shout at me and arrest me and things. So
nice.
yeah, we're trying to be a little bit more fun when we do our drone regulations. So just really so the comments don't shoot us afterwards. So
yeah. That's it. We tried that and it does work a little bit, so that's good. Ace. All right, mate. Well, live next. Are you going live next Tuesday?
Next Thursday, yes.
Next Thursday.
Yeah. So the Thursdays
Alternate
I'm not
Thursdays
on. Come watch Mr. MPW, and the other Thursday, come see us.
That's it. We hang out in the chat.
Exactly.
So we'll see you there. Ace, mate. Thank you ever so much. Have a brilliant week. And if I don't speak to you before, I'll catch you next Thursday.
Indeed. Speak to you soon. Cheers.
Cheers, dude. See you in a bit. Bye. There we go. Thank you, as always, to Mr. Sean Hickey from GEEKSVANA. Link to his channel is going into the chat right now. Please go and give Sean a like and a follow. Go and watch some of those videos that we're talking about with Dr. Pascal Lee as well, if you are into that kind of thing. Just before we dive over to Mr. Mark Boyt, I'll just manage to grab, hopefully this is going to work. Oh gosh, yeah, perfect. This is what happened to the RAF Chinook while it was flying at low level in Wales the other day. So not my photographs. This is just what I've got here up on Google, and you can see where it's hit. They've hit the wires here. I'm not going to go into what's happened any more than that. Go and research it yourself. But all I'll say is, please, if you are going to make any comments, don't make them as if you are an expert at flying in low level, unless you are. So there we go. Thankfully everyone walked away from it safely. That is the most important thing. Looks like Wolverine took a swipe. Yeah, it really did. Someone... So Sean's just put that in the chat. Someone actually, it was quite funny, put a photograph of it on that was like Godzilla or something like going for it. So it was quite good. But there we go. Cool. So I am gonna try and call Mr. Mark Boyt. Let's get our special guest on for this evening. Fingers crossed. Here we go. He gets a Skype dance. See how quick he picks up. Got the hands going as well. Here we go. We're in. Oh, he gets the Skype dance.
Can't be first time, man.
Oh, here we go.
Can't be first time. Surely it can't be first time.
Yeah, we're in first time. Although there is a bit of a strange echo, it seems. Oh no, I think that's gone. How are you, sir?
I'm good, thanks for the invite.
Good, no worries. Thank you for coming and joining us. It's how's everything going? How's the weather down where you are at the moment?
Yeah, I've got an office that's very hot and smells of tiger and curry. Thanks to my wife that's dropped me a curry this evening. Obviously, I was speaking with you guys this evening, so I thought I'd stay at work. I had some work to do anyway. But,
nice.
But no, it's beautiful. You know, South Coast is nice anyway, and a hot day is it's very, very hot. But tomorrow's even hotter.
Yeah, it's meant to be crazy hot tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
So nothing like having a curry on a hot night.
That's all right. It's a Thai curry, so it's relatively healthy, I hope.
Not too bad. Not too relatively healthy.
Than anything. And
that's it.
Before I start, thanks to Sean's comments as well. Hi, Sean. We'll catch up at some stage. I quite hear from Sean every other week.
That's it. Yeah, it's a great show Sean runs, and I'm really glad that we've got the kind of collaboration and relationship that we have. It's really seems like we're pulling together a really good community of people who come and watch all the time, and people. It's great because we get people like you and I get to chat, and we wouldn't necessarily get to do that normally. So yeah, it's really cool, and I'm glad we've got Sean to come and do his thing, and I drop in and do the same for him as and when he asks me to. So it's really good.
No, I think the channel's going from strength to strength, isn't it? It's very hard to get anything off the ground. It's very, very hard. But just keep it because it's going, isn't it? It's gaining momentum every week, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. And we couldn't do it without you guys as the supporters and the watcher, you know, everyone who watches and follows along. So it's yeah, it's good, and a bit like yourself, a bit like Sean is trying to do. We're just trying to help people and to get the right messages out there. And you know, it says it in the name of what you guys are trying to achieve, right? Drone safe register. Like, you're trying to keep people safe. And I've always said, from my point of view, the reason I teach people and the reason I do what I do is to actually, despite the comments that I get from people to the contrary, thinking I'm trying to do the contrary, like, the reason I want to teach the regulations and make sure people understand them and stick to them is so that the industry can live on. Because we have an accident or an incident, you know, and there was one with a Matrice a couple of months ago, and I've got a video coming out about that soon. I know Sean's done some of that as well. Fortunately, no one was hurt, right? But
it's the one that flew away and the guy couldn't fly it in manual.
Couldn't fly in ATI, yeah. And you know, we've got to be careful, and it's about getting that message out there, because when that accident happens, heaven forbid, we're all going to be stopped from doing what we enjoy. So, you know, bring on the bad mouthing to me and stuff like that, because
I'm pleased you're not the only one that gets the bad mouth, that gets the trolls and stuff. It's been quite quiet actually, mate. They're on holiday. It's actually been quite quiet for me the last few weeks, which is quite nice. So probably some will get posted this evening.
Yeah, do you reckon they've all got bored? That's it.
Right,
They'll be out in force now, mate. But there we go. So no, thanks for joining us. Thanks for kind of staying late in the office, and you know, I know we had a quick catch up before, and for anyone who's watching, like, we don't script any of this stuff. The reason we had a quick catch up earlier was actually to make sure Skype was working, and it's awesome to be able to have a conversation about these kind of things. And like I say, thanks for staying late. What I think would be really interesting is we'll get on to the drone safe register stuff in a bit, and this isn't, you know, it's not paid for or anything. This is just because people are saying, what's the point in joining Drone Safe? What's the point in joining ARPAS and associations like that? So we will come round to that, and that's why I want you to be able to come on and explain your piece in a public forum, really.
Sure, yeah.
But where did your background and, like, what's your background and how did you get into the drone industry?
My background, 10 years ago, I sort of had enough, basically. I've been in the motor trade all my life, sales and marketing, running dealerships, running big dealerships, running big dealer groups. And I just woke up one day and just didn't have any buzz to do what I was doing. And obviously I was in a very well-paid job, had a great life. I was going through a divorce at the time. And I just phoned my dad up as a business partner and just said, I just don't want to do this anymore. So he phoned my new partner, which is here, so she's there. And he said, it's Mark feeling okay today? And he said, well, it's fine when he left for work. So within a couple of weeks, probably a couple of months, we'd change. And I basically had a sum of money. And didn't know what to do with myself. So obviously really interested in drones, got into the drone sort of industry, so to speak, learned as a hobbyist. I used to fly around my work quite closely, so that's how I learned to fly quite close to things, because I did it for months and months and months and daily, because I was probably so bored. And then become a qualified operator, so I was number 1002. I should have been a lot more, but I failed the test first, because the tests aren't for me. I'm more of a creative person than a script writer or whatever, or learning and stuff. So I failed the test first of all. So I should have been probably 600, 700, 800 or whatever. Managed to get it 1002, become an operator. And then I just got frustrated because so much work was being lost to people that weren't qualified. So obviously at the time, and it still stands today, to charge commercially, you need a permission for a PfCO. So I set up the Drone Safe Register because no safe platform existed. And with the kind support of members, renewal rate's incredibly high at the moment. We'll normally market new members. Here we are 4.5 years down the line, doing well. We're achieving a lot, but COVID unfortunately has stopped us in our tracks from doing the next stage, which is employing certain people to do certain roles in our business, so we can grow, because the industry isn't new, but people aren't using the technology. And also the actual technology isn't new either. So it's really getting people to change their perception, A, of drones, and B, how cost efficient drones can be for them. And we're seeing huge signs of growth, more than we've ever seen before. and then bang, COVID comes along. So like you probably, and like what we've all, it's just damage limitation at the moment. Support from our members. Hopefully, I'm sure the same. You people buy your courses and stuff, and keep supporting you. It's just survival at the moment. But as soon as we're ready, and we can employ staff, and it's growing again, we can obviously crack on again.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, and I'm glad that it seems as though, fingers crossed, we're coming out of the other side of it now, and I hope everyone in the chat is noticing that as well. It's been difficult times for everybody, and I know there have been people in the chat in the past that haven't necessarily made it through that hurdle, but hopefully we can all get onto the other side, and I think if nothing else, it will make us more resilient, right, when we get to the other side. Like I know certainly for ourselves, we always had X number of months worth of revenue in the bank and all that sort of stuff, which got eaten up more quickly than we thought it would. Turns out we actually needed another couple of months worth of revenue in the bank, so we've got to go away and work on how we make that happen in the future. So because you never know now.
I think it's like anything, it's opportunity. So I have been coming to work. It's been relatively safe, and we've achieved quite a lot within lockdown. We've launched a new online store, the Drone Safe store. We just launched Drone Safe Transfer, which is a member transfer portal branded to them. They can send data to customers. So I've actually been quite busy, and it's great to hear that you're going to take some time off, because shortly I want to probably take a week off. I'm not sure what I want to do or where I can go that's even safe. I think you mentioned a motorhome, didn't you? Have you tried to look at the value of motorhomes at the moment? It's like, what?
Oh, mate, I know. Yeah,
or even hiring them. You can't even hire them. So it's just a very different time, but it's the time when certainly our network of people come together and everyone supports themselves, and that's what everyone should be doing at the moment. And it's great to see lots of people are doing it. Yeah,
that's it. So it's always been, and again, those people who've been through kind of my business training and that I've mentored and helped through over the last couple of years. And I've just seen we've got Nigel Pugh in here who's saying how good DSR is. It generates thousands of revenue for us every month.
Nigel's done a couple of jobs for us last week, actually. I think I can't see the comments actually. Can I pull this up? Can I pull the stream up, Matt, again?
Yeah, of course, yeah. So just pull the stream up and as long as we can see.
I'm getting old, Matt, so I'm not used to all this.
That's all right. It was a bit much for me at first as well. I had to take Sean's lead and watch what he did from the sidelines.
First time, brilliant.
That's amazing. But yeah, Nigel's saying, it got one of those was an £8 million property development project. So
see, that's where we need to change our business model urgently. So it's not. It's an open directory. We don't have any control over what comes in. It's all automated in there. So fair play, Nigel. But Nigel was very on it, isn't he?
Yeah, big time.
You trained him as well, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. So, and I was saying, it's funny, like, you saying this was the time to do the networking and all that sort of stuff. Anyone who's followed my business training and mentoring, Nigel's one of those people. He did my kind of business mentoring course last summer, went through that program, and was very well established in business anyway, but hopefully it helped in the drone world. But I said to all of the people who are following on the channel, like at the beginning of this is the time when you need to be doing a blog a day and doing those things that are painful, like get yourself on video and get a channel up and running, because you've got 2 or 3 months now where you can't do anything else and you've got no excuses. And if I'm brutally honest, very few people from what I can see did it. Those that did, like your Nigel Pews, are kicking ass and taking names. And we don't just say this stuff because we want to say it. Some people say that, right? Like all these business gurus and stuff. Like, I say it because it works and it helps and it is going to get you to where you are, like where you want to be, from where you are. So it's just interesting seeing people there, and like you say, it's even now, well, things aren't quite back to normal, get out and network.
We do. If you look at how many people have joined the industry and how many people are left, there's something going on. And I've got a couple of philosophies for it. The first thing is lots of people want a change of career. It's very normal. And I think around our sort of age, or certainly my age, 40 and a bit, 44, I look about 50, I've had a hard life in the last 4 years, do it running Drone Safe. You know, people want, but people can't sort of understand. You don't have to go to work Monday to Friday. People then don't understand that the flying bit is very, very small. You need to be networking and talking to people 95% of the time. And that's where we win, because one of the things I didn't want to set up is a closed Facebook group because of the grief that I'd had in the first year of establishing drone safe. But it's actually been one of the best things we've ever done. And we don't let anyone in there, and we control it. And if something kicks off, we sadly have to remove people. But we won't have anyone, what's the word, you know, affecting what we've built up, because it's taken us 4.5 years to build up what we've got. And we've got a group of really decent people in there. And that's more rewarding than anything to me. Let's forget how many drones the store sold and all the other bits. It's the community, because I've actually got friends for life through being members, which is fantastic. My phone's flat out. Some days it gets too much, to be fair. But it's great to hear what people are doing and what works for people. And obviously the positive stories and the negative stories. People phone me up and say, look, I've had no work. I said, I'm really sorry, I can't, you know, we're doing all we can. And believe me, we are doing all we can. As I say, there is still work out there at the moment, but you've just got to work extra harder to obviously get it across the line, you know?
Yeah, that's it. But then you can only build the frameworks that you can build and promote them as hard as you can promote them with the hours that you've got in the day. And ultimately, if, like, one of the things, again, that I always say to people is that don't join these associations and memberships and the registers and things like that expecting that you can just sit there and the work's going to come in, expecting that you can just sit there and that you're going to earn money, or, you know, that you're not going to have to do unsociable hours, that you're not going to have to do loads of travelling. Like I was saying to you earlier on, we did 960 grand's worth of aerial filming in our first year of operations. And yes, we were charging 1,500 quid a day at the time because we were flying big aeroplanes and stuff, but that isn't down to necessarily competition. I could still go out and do 1,500 quid a day jobs now because we've built a reputation up. I've built a brand that people know and put a value on. But also, I'm willing to fly to Peru with an EB and a team, spend 3 weeks there, not able to speak to anyone back at home, living in basically a freezing cold porter cabin in the middle of the mountains, doing a job and coming home again. Like that, you've got to be willing to accept, like, aviation is truly global. And if you, I still very much think if you wanted to, the opportunities are still there.
Definitely.
But it isn't easy.
Less and less. You can't see me. I've got the drone pilot. Tan's slowly going. Sadly, I haven't really done much. We're just renewing our PfCO because we have a permission. Drone safe has permission, so I had to keep my hours up. I did a lot of FPV flying over lockdown, which I enjoyed. I've given it up because I'm never going to be really good at it. I'm good at it, but I'm never going to be really good at it, and I'm a nightmare with stuff like this. So I'd rather leave it to other people to get really good at it. I can fly around, but I don't crash. But you know, some of the stuff that some of these people are putting off with these FPVs and silly whoops and stuff is fantastic.
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it?
It's in the group, but I'll hand it over to them now and let them do it. You know.
Yeah, no, that's great, mate. Just so just taking a step back then, and kind of talking about the journey. So when you formed Drone Safe, I think we all kind of got to know you, if we didn't know you already, from a certain BBC television programme.
Yes.
So, you know, you were on Dragon's Den, got investment from Peter Jones, part of kind of the Jessops group at that time. How did that impact you? And I mean, positively and negatively, potentially?
It was, I still remember that the evening on the show, it was just, I think I was actually emotional. I could not believe social media. My phone was ringing, Twitter was ringing, the telephone was going. It was just absolutely out of control. And the next day was just, well, the next week or month was just completely out of control. So, you know, and the process you go to and go through. And it wasn't really money I wanted when I went on the show. I wanted exposure.
Yes.
Because I don't know how, it costs a lot of money to get a busy website daily that puts you up Google. It takes a lot of money to become a brand. So I really wanted to, and I was turned down by something else, which I can't share at the moment, so I might have something else happening. So I can't share that at the moment. I've got to watch what I say tonight, actually. It's actually, it's nearly 9 o'clock, so I can be a bit uncut now at 9 o'clock. So yeah, so I was telling us anyway, exposure. Can't believe I got through. You know, I had no night, no sleep the night before. Changed my pitch at the last minute. You know, I thought a bench for a couple of drones isn't going to blow them away. Let's have 4 cones and fly in. So as the researcher was going, you do realise if you'll crash, it will be on the TV. And I said yes. So it's let Mark and his drone safe register, safe flight smashes in a lift and hovering in a spire in a really tight lift. It's quite an achievement.
Yeah.
Obviously, I had prop guards on, but went on the show, and obviously we had 3 offers. Lots of offers get offered, but people don't complete. So then obviously we went through, and obviously we got investments, we got the money in the bank, and then a year later, me and Peter have decided to sort of reverse the deal, which I'm thankful for Peter, and it's common knowledge. You can see by our accounts, and Peter's a legend because he's made Drone Safe Register a brand, which I'll be obviously forever in my life grateful for. And we've just launched the Drone Safe store with loads of different products that obviously members can buy, It's been a complete journey. I could write a book. And along the way, there's 10 or 15 people that have just had it in for me or Drone Safe from the start. And they're the people I need to write a book. And I'm sure you get it as well. When you put yourself in front of, like millions for me, luckily, because obviously I was on TV, but you'll be millions soon. When your channel gains and catches up and you've got videos on there for years, but no, it's different, and it's you just open yourself up to more reviews. So there is someone watching this video tonight commenting somewhere.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there will be,
because people can't help themselves. Certain people can't help themselves, and I've never known an industry like it, Matt. To be fair, there's a few characters in here that's just wow, what is that all about,
Yeah, and I've put videos on the channel about that kind of thing in the past, right, where it's like, this is such a toxic industry at times. Like, there is a great core of people, and individually a lot of the people are lovely, and there's the people in the stream right now that we see every week in, week out, and they're great people, but then there's just the odd couple of bad apples that I think a lot of people are very influenceable.
Oh yeah.
And
you're right.
There are a couple of influential people that shout louder than most, and they get known and get a following, which is just bizarre.
We've got people that don't like us, but then they copy our web domain, hoping someone doesn't put a digit in and it directs to their website. And you think, what's that?
Yeah, bizarre.
I could write. We should do it like an uncut version one night, and we'll do it private. Honestly, we could talk for hours, Matt, about what's gone on. You wouldn't believe it. We've got people that are in QEs that do stuff to us all the time that they don't realise we've got copies of all this. Yeah. And I'd love to do a thing one day and say, look at all this, but we're not about that, but we have to keep stuff because you don't know.
Just in case. Yeah.
So no, it's been unbelievable, put it like that.
Here's one of the big things though, right? I think it's a really important message along the lines of what we were talking about just before, and this is for everyone in the stream who's watching, is that, we're talking about DSR going on Dragon's Den, talking about it going into becoming a business that's growing now, and we get haters, we get people who are fans of the businesses because of that exposure that we get, but actually I would say that more than anything, more than the investment, more than anything, that the message that people need to take away is that I would say it's a lesson in how to market yourself, the journey that you've been on. People need to go and watch the journey that you've been on since before you went on Dragon's Den. And this is why if you wrote a book, I would buy it, because it'd be interesting from a marketer's point of view, which is kind of what I'd class myself as more than anything. That's what I do, right?
That's probably my forte is my forte isn't doing ops manuals and training. My forte is marketing and bringing people and bringing business in.
Yeah.
And it's such a shame because, Drone Safe is a business like any business. So in the first year, we burnt quite a lot of members. It's really disappointing for me, but I assure you, I did all I physically could that year to bring business in, because that's the person I am. So then you've got year 2. Oh, that's a load of rubbish. I joined that for a year. And I don't want to come on here saying everyone join Drone Safe, but just keep an eye on us, because the stuff that is going on now didn't happen last year and the year before the year, So we're a business like any, but I still don't take a wage. I can remember 3 years ago, and I'm being beaten up on Facebook, and I can't afford to pay my son's mobile phone bill. And I've argued my son saying, "Why don't you answer your phone?" And he said to me, "Yeah, but Dad, I know you're busy and you haven't got much money, and I don't want to stress you out, you know." So people understand what you go through to try and get somewhere in life, you know. And I must write a book, you know, if I was really good at writing, which I'm not. I would love to write a book and just explain to everyone where it's been and what's gone on, because you would not believe it. But thanks to them, I'm still here. You know, we've got lots of members, happy members, and we've got lots of stuff to nail. We just need to get COVID out of the way first now, and we can all crack on again, you know.
That's it. Yeah, get everything back to normal. And like I say, it's quite interesting. You know, people in the chat, we've got Nige Pugh saying, you know, he uses it a lot, and a couple of people saying, yeah, I'll definitely look into it. So that's good. CJK Drones, the transfer portal is brilliant. Use it regularly now. So, you know, it started off as a register, right, where people could register and work came in. What different services have you got available to people? Because what's this transfer thing that people are talking about?
A bit of a nightmare for developing and thinking of ideas. So we launched Drone Safe Register originally. It was just a map full of, you know, make it very, very easy for people, obviously, to find operators. That's what we stand for. We then launched Instant Quote. We then launched aerial stock footage. So we've got the largest aerial stock footage where members can join us, upload it, and keep footage for life. We haven't quite mastered the stock footage, so we've got version 3 coming out. So version 3 is being worked on and developed as we speak in a new fancy code. With Shutterstock putting all their prices up and lots of other stock companies, you know, making it not worthwhile, we're in a golden opportunity. And also our stock footage can be found by location. So it's got a map. If you want to pitch the beachy-head, you click on beachy-head and there it is. That's cool. We then launched, Christ, what have we launched? All sorts of stuff. We've launched a drone calculator in the background. We've partnered with Altitude Angel to give live location hazards, like where schools are, for instance, where telegraph poles are. Each instant quote sent with obviously quotes for them. We've got the members discount with Cover Drone, which pays for your annual fee anyway. I must say, I really rate Cover Drone. I know there's lots of noise about other people, and great, you know, the industry is big enough for everyone to have part of the cake. But Cover Drone, I've been with for years. Lots of our members are with them. I just think they're brilliant. The whole team and the way they do stuff. We just renewed actually with Cover Drone last week. I think Daniel's not very well, so send some love to.
Is he not?
Cover Drone. No, he's got something wrong, possibly up here. Maybe I shouldn't be saying that on here, but it is on 10 o'clock. But I think it is public. But I think he's due. You know, but Daniel's been fantastic. Always supported us. Our events as well, which we've obviously had to cancel. So we try and do network meetings as well, because networking is key. I don't care what anyone says. Number one in this thing is network. And we've created a closed network group where it's safe, basically. It's free from trolls, free from people that shouldn't be in it. And the amount of work that I see getting offered is bonkers. Obviously not so much at the moment because it's COVID, but one got offered about 20 minutes ago by someone, so it's still going on. But no, we've got shops, Drone Safe Transfer.
Transfer was the one that the chap was saying was really good.
That's basically a WeTransfer copy, but what happens is it's branded reviews. So say, for instance, do you remember, you upload your profile picture and background picture, you can then send data to clients and it's like it's from you. So it's like Mr. MPW Aerial has sent you some files and it's got your branding. And I think WeTransfer charge a tenner a month for something for 20 gig, we're 50 gig, and it's free with your membership.
Nice.
We've just developed that, and there's some other bits that I can't share. We're just about to do something very big this weekend, which has never been done. But lots of stuff going on. I've probably missed 100 things, but we're always up to something anyway.
Always up to something, mate. That's it. It sounds a bit like us at our end, eh? But that's how. I mean, so the Cover Drone discount, the WeTransfer, Drone Safe Transfer type thing with your own branding on, actually is something that I'd be interested in, because we use WeTransfer and we pay quite a lot of money for the pro thing, so it'd probably end up being cheaper. But really interesting, and it's good to see that it isn't just you're diversifying that offering out and supporting people with a framework rather than just kind of getting that working. And again, there's people in here saying you know, I got a job last week, and I know when we were on earlier, your phone rang and some more work came in that you passed on to somebody. So it's, you know, this isn't a sell for Drone Safe Registered, by the way. This is literally just us.
But you know what? It's taken 4 years, and I won't show you my wife there, but you know, it's if you don't surround yourself, if you're going to do something like this, because I never knew how big this would be. Honestly, I put my hands up. I never honestly thought we would be where we are today. And we're not huge by any standards, but we're on the track to doing really well, and everyone will do well from it because everyone supported us, which is why members' renewal fees are very low compared to first registration, and it will always be that way for me because I owe the members everything because I've stopped playing with their money to develop where we are to go. But you've got to surround yourself with decent people and proper people if you've got any chance of doing anything on a national scale. Like we have, hopefully, you know.
Yeah, and it is interesting from my point of view because obviously now I consult with a lot of people. I do a lot of OSC work, which is probably actually potentially crossed over with what you guys do at some point. But I know it's interesting. A lot. I would say a high percentage of the people that I consult with at the higher levels within the industry, are members of DSR and have spoken at events for you or with you, or have certainly been in attendance at, like, the thing, was it Duxford or something you did a year ago or so?
The aviation we did, and the CAA come, and Gatwick Police come about the drone. The actual guy in charge of the operation come and talk to us, which was interesting. We won't go there tonight. That's not.
that's for another after 9 o'clock topic.
After 9 o'clock, we must do the uncut one night, though, man.
Yeah, that's it. We'll get Sean in as well. We'll all have
we'll have some beers and we'll have a. Yeah, Christ, you probably want to put that on private. That one.
Yeah, maybe. That's it.
We also do events and stuff. But no, we've got some of the UK's top operators, and if someone can't do something, it's shared, and that's the way it should be. But the relationships that have been built up, because I see it in between our group, it's pretty nuts, and I don't think that exists anywhere.
No.
Certainly not in England anyway.
No.
Maybe the world, you know, who knows?
That's it. Just a couple of quick questions coming in. I got one in from Mick Curran. Can I ask if there's a benefit for recreational flyers to join? Because I think a lot of the people who watch the stuff on our channel are recreational, not just the commercial side. So probably why the questions come up. So
yeah, Hi, thanks for the question. We launched amateur membership about 3 or 4 years ago. So, you know, we gave people an ID number, a sticker. We had one found last week, a Mavic 2. We reunited with a member last week, so it does work. Obviously, we didn't want to exclude members of the public, but we're aware that there's actually a load of responsible amateurs out there. You know, most amateurs are responsible. It's only a very small minority that aren't. They were getting approached by members of the public saying, well, what are you doing? The guy was saying, I'm not doing anything wrong. So we include a card for them which registers their, well, it did, because obviously the CAA registration's out now, but a card that just used to say, look, there's the drone law, that's my drone, that's me, I'm not doing anything wrong, and I'm registered with Drone Safe Register, my drone is in case it's lost. And we know hundreds of people, and still do, but that gives you benefits of insurance and kit discount as well from our store. So lots of people carried on with that as well, you know.
Yeah, that's interesting, mate. I'll do a bit of digging into that as well, and maybe you and I can have a chat offline at some point and maybe see what we can bring to people to make that even more visible.
Yeah, but no, anything to do with hobbies, because at the end of the day, hobbyists are our future. Well, you know, I was a hobbyist once. I'm sure you were probably a hobbyist once. So
yeah,
you know, hobbyists are so important, and sometimes they're tarnished with the wrong brush. And I think that's wrong, because there's loads of groups down here, obviously living near the south coast, and they're all going out being sensible. You know, there's nothing wrong with what they're doing. But they are being approached by members of the public occasionally, and they're not happy, you know.
Yes, that's it. Okay. I hope that answers your question. A couple of people said that, so it was Mick Curran and Martin Stead, I think, were in there. I've got James from Camwings. He's saying, can I ask what the difference is between the monthly and the annual membership?
Yes, of course. Obviously, thanks for your question. Hi. Monthly, we don't include a ID card. Lots of our major accounts and national accounts come through. You know, a lot of our members are actually DBS checked now. So, again, it's after 9 o'clock. You know, next year, we'll probably be popping up our first registration fee to join Drone Safe Register, because we proper offer a lot for what what it is. It's like 20 quid a month for something. It's compared to the price of getting the drone industry and everything else. It's not a lot of money at all. If you look at the benefits, you know, you can get out of it if you put it in. So we're going to launch. So we're going to probably put the prices up. But monthly, you get you don't get an ID card. Okay. Because obviously we don't want you to walk around with an ID card valid for 12 months and do jobs on our behalf, you know?
Yeah, of course.
Obviously, yearly you get like a registration pack and some stickers and an ID card, landing on that sort of stuff.
Ace. Well, hopefully that answers that question. If you want to know any more, James, about that, then let me know, or drop the questions into Mark, I guess. Cool. Yeah, and then it's just, what have we got? People, Nigel Pugh saying, if it wasn't for Mark and DSR, we would not have such a great partnership with Malcolm Davidge from Scopito. We use it on all our architecture inspections. Malcolm goes out of his way to help, which is interesting because I didn't realise Malcolm was behind Scopito, and Malcolm is another one of our students because I recognise the name.
As well, yeah. He's a great guy, and he's doing some, you know, really good stuff. And you know, lots of our members network with him. But you know, it's amazing what goes on. It really is amazing what goes on. But you have to see it to believe it. So
that's it. And I think this is and. Please, if I'm speaking out of turn, like I say, it's not a sell for DSR. I just wanted you to be able to speak about it, people to ask questions, and to get it out there in the open, right, as to what it is you do. And I can't remember what I was going to say. Yeah, that's the thing, is that for me, it wouldn't necessarily, if I was to join, if I was still operating, it wouldn't necessarily be joining and expecting work to come in. For me, it would be joining to get into that community and to be connected with people like yourself, like Nigel Pugh, like Malcolm Davidge, like Graham Degg, you know, all these kinds of people who are up there and doing the business that the majority of people want to be doing and wish they were doing and come in expecting to be able to do. And Christ, if you can't hang on to the coattails of those people by being in a network with them, then I'm sorry, you need to find something else to do.
It's interesting you say that, because we've got people that join and don't want any work. You know, and it's a real shame because you don't get any work from that. Hold on a minute, let's forget the work for a second. Let's look at all what else we do. But you know, we've got people that join us just for the SEO boost. You know, we get 30,000 hits a month, and when you have a link from your website to our website and it's drone related, Google like that a lot. A lot of the time, we appear above the companies that we promote on Google. If you put the companies in, because our website's so powerful now. Some people join for the roof estimator, some people join for the location hazards, some people join just the network group. It's a real mixed, you know, there's lots we do now. See, as we've grown into it, but I must stop developing one day. It's just bloody stressful. You know,
never stop.
The transfer system was quite heated at some points between the developers and stuff, because we want it to work and want it to work perfectly, you know?
Yeah. That's it. No, it's good, mate. Well, there's a couple of people, George Wrigley saying, Mark Boyt, please get in touch, mate. You called me back in 2019, encouraged me to register. Now he was here doing the business, and yeah, get in touch. So hopefully, you know, there'll be a couple of people.
Thanks very much, Matt. And obviously, I appreciate the personal invite from you. It's very good of you. And if there's anything we can do as an organisation to help you guys out, or any of your, give us a shout. I'm very approachable. My phone's always on.
That's it.
We've got a free phone number here into the office, so I'm normally here 10 till 4, 10 till 5, Monday to Friday.
Amazing. Mate, thank you ever so much for taking the time out to come and chat to us all. Guys, a massive Mr. MPW channel. Thank you. Thumbs up for Mark, please. Mark, where can people catch you on things like YouTube and social
YouTube
channels?
Obviously, I'm on LinkedIn, obviously Mark Boyt. Facebook, I tend to... Do you know what? So many different channels now. It's like... Twitter, I'm checking LinkedIn, I'm doing Facebook. Easiest thing to do is go to droneSafeRegister.org.uk, which is our main, or just type in Drone Safe Register and obviously we come up top. And yeah, just get in touch if anyone needs anything. We've got a membership manager, Ian, who's very, very in the know, very approachable. I think you've probably met him before, haven't you?
I haven't, no.
You know, you can arrange a call with him, but you know, it sounds awful, but we're quite happy with what we've got. You know, obviously we'd love new members, but what's important to me is who we've got, and that's the most important to us, because without the people we've got, we wouldn't be where we are, and there's a lot of merit in that, I think.
Perfect, mate. No, that's good. It's a great mantra to to give you some longevity, and you know, that medium to long term thinking is one of the things that I think is lacking a bit in our industry in general at the moment. So good to see. So there we go, mate. Thank you ever so much again. Have a good evening, and I hope the launch of whatever it is,
Fly Safe Blue Skies, is that?
Fly Safe and Blue Skies, and I hope your launch on over the weekend goes well. I look forward to seeing what it is.
Thank you very much. All the best.
Cheers, mate. Catch you soon.
Take care. Bye.
There we go. So a big thanks to Mark Boyt, CEO over at Drone Safe Register. Again, another guest that you guys and girls asked for. We managed to get on, but we can only get these kind of guests on if you make sure that you subscribe to the channel and go and tell people about the channel and all that sort of stuff. It's the power of having you, ladies and gents, following us and being involved and engaging with us, which allows us to get the people on that you want to hear from, and hopefully allows me to ask the tough questions, because we're not affiliated to anybody. You know, we're not associated with anybody. It's genuinely me just getting people on and having a conversation with them live on the screen and asking the questions as they come in. So there we go. I hope you all enjoyed that. Gone over by 20 minutes, standard me. But yeah, let us know what you would like next. There is more content coming soon. As I say, I'm sorry it's been slow over the last couple of weeks, just because I've had a few other things that have unfortunately taken priority. As soon as the children are back to school, I will be back full on into the content creation, all that sort of stuff. So please bear with us on that front. And yeah, thank you again for all your support. Please make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Tell everybody about us. And I look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks' time. In the meantime, you can catch me next Thursday in the chat with GEEKSVANA. I've dropped a link to him in there right now. And before then, and until I see you on the next aviation show, look after yourselves, stay safe, enjoy the nice weather over the next couple of days, fly safe, and blue skies.